All right, we're back. So I hope you all got your either your ginger ale or your sparkling wine. So welcome to this year's awards ceremony and annual review. As I mentioned before, it's great to be back at the AMS Annual Meeting to interact with what I think is an amazing community that does so much for our nation and the world. And so we're just very happy that you're here to help us celebrate the accomplishments and your contributions over 2026 awardees. So today we honor our awardees for their contributions to our field, building on the contributions of others before them. Indeed, some of our named awards trace the evolution of our science and its applications, including beneficial impacts on society. Today is an opportunity to hear from some of the current giants in our field and draw inspiration from their accomplishments. We are honored and pleased that ASRC Federal has sponsored this award ceremony for the third year in a row. Please join me in welcoming Sydney Kane, ASRC Federal Marketing and PR Manager, to the stage.
Good evening. I'm excited to be here representing ASRC Federal this evening, alongside some of the brightest minds in meteorology, climate science, and weather prediction. Tonight, we celebrate and honor the incredible awardees and achievements of the new class of AMS Fellows, and welcome them into this distinguished community. Before I get started, I want to take a moment to appreciate the dedication in this room. Only a group of meteorologists would look at a winter storm impacting over a third of the country and think, challenge accepted. On a serious note, the work you and your colleagues do is absolutely vital, from advancing climate and environmental science to improving weather prediction and keeping satellite operations running smoothly. You're not just studying the planet, you're securing a prosperous future for us all. In addition to making scientific advancements and discoveries, you are stewards of our Earth. At ASRC Federal, stewardship is one of our values. It is tied directly to my Alaska Native heritage. As a family of Alaska Native-owned companies, our corporate mission serves a dual purpose: to achieve successful mission outcomes for our customers while building an enduring enterprise for our employees and Alaska Native shareholders. Our support for NOAA is not just a partnership, it's a commitment to driving NOAA's mission forward into the modern era. It is an honor to work with some of the best and brightest scientists and engineers in the nation. On behalf of my fellow NOAA shareholders, my team, and my colleagues, thank you for being here tonight and for your enduring commitment to humanity. If you want to raise your glasses. Here's to science, collaboration, and the future leaders among us. Cheers.
So thank you, Cindy, again. So before we turn our attention to the awards, I'm delighted to make an introduction. Dr. Amanda Stout will join AMS as the Executive Director and CEO starting in March. Amanda is currently the Senior Director of Climate Crossroads at the National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine. Amanda has a talent for connecting science to society, helping to improve understanding, foster innovation, and build resilience. She has worked with AMS members from the private sector, government, universities, and nonprofits, and she has a deep commitment to the AMS mission. During this time of tremendous technological and institutional change, AMS will greatly benefit from Amanda's strategic thinking and vision, effective and inclusive leadership, and her ability to bring people together to amplify our voices. Please join me in welcoming Amanda to AMS.
I attended my first AMS meeting 30 years ago when I was an undergrad, and I still remember the warm welcome. And it's no surprise that in the last few days since the announcement, I've gotten such a warm welcome from so many of you. So thank you for that. What has been really touching is there have been so many offers of help and support. And that's kind of what I love about this community and why I was excited to take on this role. And I'm really glad there's so many offers of help and support because I'm going to need it. This is a dynamic, challenging time. We have a lot of things that we got to work on together. So, this time is unsettling, and I think times of challenges create opportunities to innovate, make progress on long-standing challenges. So with that in mind, I really look forward to reconnecting with old friends, meeting new colleagues, listening to learn what issues are important to you, and thinking together about our future. So just to end with gratitude again, thank you in advance for your ongoing support and hard work, and I'm excited to roll up my sleeves and see what we can do together. So thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. So I have a few words to share about this week's events, and then I will reflect on my past year as the AMS president. Because this event is considered an annual review, I confirm that we have a quorum of more than 50 voting members in attendance. I think that's a safe bet. So as was mentioned before, the theme of the 106th Annual Meeting is fast and slow thinking, the human factor in a rapidly changing world. This theme is really about us, right? And how we thrive in today's world. So every day, there will be 2 presidential sessions. They start at 10:45 in these 2 ballrooms over here that focus on personal development, professional development, and how we interact with the wider world. On Monday, you'll see we talk about work-life integration. We also have a session talking about career reinvention. Tuesday, all the other conferences are not operating during this time period. And there's a session on mental well-being and another session on leadership. Coming to Wednesday then, we have the role of AI, or the role of the human in an AI world, as well as a session on informed decision-making and ethics. And then Thursday, we focus more on sort of the external side of it, so talking to faith communities about science, and also how do we help support the science. So I hope you'll engage in some of those presidential sessions or watch them after the fact. So we've got a very busy week ahead. This week will feature over 2,400 oral presentations, 1,200 posters, 88 exhibitors, and 33 sponsors. At last count, we have over 5,700 registered attendees representing 60 countries. 31% of them are students. So thank you to everyone who has made this meeting possible. It's not possible to thank everybody, all the hundreds of people who have been involved in planning and supporting this meeting, but I'll mention a few groups. So our generous sponsors for the annual meeting, particularly our top sponsors, Lockheed Martin and Peraton. The AMS staff, led by Jen Ives, director of the meeting, who always does a tremendous job. Yeah. So this slide here has the overall planning committee with co-chairs Pam Heinzelman and John Bankhoff. This group was just tremendous to work with. They are the ones who are really putting together the sessions that are coming up this week, and I'm so thankful for all the contributions. We also have the local organizing committee with special thanks to Lance Wood, the chair. They're going to have an outreach to the area of Houston talking about heat. Heat happens here, maybe not in January, but in July and August, heat and especially humidity can really have an impact on health. Conference and symposium program chairs and their program committees, as you can see, that is a huge list of people. All the session chairs who have helped and will be running things, and the more than 50 students who provide support for the meeting. I also would like to acknowledge the following individuals who are completing their terms and thank them for their dedicated service to AMS. We have past President Brad Coleman, counselors Erin Coughlin de Perez, Danae Carlis, Rebecca de Podman, Ron Fu, and Michelle Manelli. And Commissioners Heidi Santola, Erica Grochet, and Kimberly Ploko McLean. If you would stand, if you're here, please. So I will say the one thing I really love about AMS is the people we get to work with are amazing, both from our community and of course from AMS staff. And so thank you all of you for your dedication to AMS, the time that you give to it, and it was just fun working with you, and actually I'm going to miss you. It's also important for us to reflect and to remember those members who unfortunately passed away in 2025. Let's honor them and all of our loved ones lost. So please stand if you are able and join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. Please be seated. So I'm going to move on to my reflections here. So these are mine, right? So the last few days, I think have reminded us all of the awesome power of the atmosphere, right? And what it can do and how it impacts people, but also our ability to predict it. So I started receiving text messages from United Airlines telling me about maybe I want to change my flight on Wednesday. On Wednesday? Really? On Wednesday? I mean, what a dramatic change compared to when I was in elementary school. You'd wake up in the morning to see if it snowed because you had no idea. I mean, no one closed a school because of a weather forecast. Pollution was obvious even to me as a kid, but nobody seemed to worry about pollution. And the words climate change, of course, had yet to enter the public sphere. So the world today is so much different than it was 50 years ago, and our knowledge and ability to apply that knowledge is so much greater. But of course, unfortunately, many aspects of the world remain much the same as 50 years ago. Division and lack of trust are on display pretty much every day. So a year ago, I suggested that disruption would be a theme of 2025, yet I don't think any of us expected the level of disruption that actually has occurred. So after learning about administration proposals, we decided that it was important to inform you of proposed changes at the federal level that would impact the weather, water, and climate enterprise, and then encourage you to use your voice. Again, amplifying our voices. Keeping up with federal actions and proposals this year has been challenging and at times rather exhausting. Yet as seen in the recent Commerce, Justice, Science federal appropriation, the recommended large reduction in support for science has not gone forward. I like to think that the combined efforts of scientists and professionals across the U.S. and all sorts of different fields had an impact. But I have no doubt that disruption is going to continue. Our voices will still be needed. And of course, there remain many concerns, including what will happen with NSF NCAR. So join us in a town hall discussion entitled Breaking News, NCAR Federal Appropriations and the Impact on the WWCE, Weather, Water, and Climate Enterprise, on Wednesday at 6:15 in one of these ballrooms. Yet even within this tremendous time of change, our talented AMS staff and our dedicated volunteers, with the support and guidance of AMS Council, have continued to advance the AMS mission. So I mentioned meeting staff, but please, all AMS staff, if you would rise, let's give them a round of applause. AMS staff, come on, you gotta stand up. So I also want to recognize Brian Papa, who stepped up to take on the role of acting executive director over the last year. Brian has done a remarkable job, and we are all in his debt. So thank you, Brian. That was truly an amazing job that you've done. I also want to thank the AMS Council and the Executive Committee for their wisdom and support of me over this past year, which was crucial to responding to the moment. Now, if you are an AMS volunteer, So please stand if you're a council member, if you're a conference session chair, if you're a journal editor, come on, start standing up. If you're a committee member of an AMS committee, if you've reviewed manuscripts, if you volunteer in any other way, I want to see you standing. All right. So this is what it takes to run an organization like AMS. AMS does not work without volunteers who give of their time, give of their effort. AMS, it's roughly 10% of membership is involved just in committee work, but when you add in the reviewers and everything else that happens, it's an enormous number of people to make this work and to advance our science. So I'm going to conclude this part with a quote from one of the Harry Potter books, and yes, I have read all of the Harry Potter books. My kids were very much into them when they came out, and that was one of the joys, was to read books with my children. And this quote actually resonates a lot with me. So happiness can be found even in the darkest of times if only one remembers to turn on the light. So I believe that our AMS community is a source of light, and I'm grateful and quite proud to be part of it. So at this time, I would ask Alan Seals to assume the chair as incoming president of AMS. So, with Alan serving as AMS president, our society is in very good hands. Alan.
Dave, my first official duty before you leave, Dave, a wonderful parting gift. I'll stand back here while you open it.
Is there anything in it?
There's something in there for you.
Something in there. Oh, look at that.
Thanks to Dave, a mentor role model that he's not aware of for me as incoming president.
It's shiny. Thank you.
You're welcome. On behalf, of course, of AMS. All right. Hello, friends and family. It is great to see you all. 2 weeks ago, as I was planning the council meeting and all the other duties as the incoming president, I was thinking this time of the program, I'd be sitting maybe the 5th or 6th row, just looking up, enjoying seeing my colleagues winning awards. And then I was informed that Veronica Johnson, the MC for the event, had to stay in Washington, D.C. because she's a broadcast meteorologist at the ABC station. So, of course, it was, Alan, can you do this? I think I can. And it will help if I start with the glasses. Thank you also to the AMS Council and staff. As Dave said, it is an incredible amount of things that happen behind the scenes for us to keep this organization strong and to keep it going. I also want to thank all of you who voted for me for president, but don't do that again, please. It's an honor. It truly is. It's amazing to stand in this long line of awesome folks within AMS who have done great things and will do great things. So my meeting next year is in Denver in January. I predict a geomagnetic storm, so just start, get one of those lead vests so when you fly across the country, I think you'll be okay. All right, so catching up to where I should be on my script here. Of course, we are planning for that meeting. The theme is people, which is people educated on planet live empowered. You'll hear much more about that. It's all of us. So with that, let's get to the present and kick off this year's award ceremony.
Everyone has a reason why they go to work every day, but for someone else to see your good work and to recognize it, it just means the world.
In a time when science is more critical than ever, the American Meteorological Society continues its enduring mission to advance atmospheric and related sciences and services for the benefit of society.
continually think about how the weather, the climate influences people's lives and what we can do as meteorologists to contribute to the welfare of our local communities, our country, or the world.
Our people are at the heart of the AMS mission. Each year at our annual meeting, AMS Awards shine a spotlight on individuals whose work defines excellence in our field, from groundbreaking researchers to public servants and communicators.
It's really important that science gets recognized in all of its forms wherever it can be, across the board, from the research side to all the way to the application.
Our world needs timely, trusted science. AMS members are on the front lines of protecting lives and shaping the future.
To see the award recipients each year and to see what they have done, it inspires me to think of ways that I can advance weather, water, and climate. Everybody makes a difference. Everybody is needed. It's all hands on deck.
By honoring our community, our more than 35 AMS awards affirm what we value most: rigorous science, inclusive mentorship, public communication, innovation, and the essential role of educators.
Getting the award was very humbling, but also made me proud about my own achievements of, no, I am doing this well, and my peers see that, and I can share that with everyone.
I was very honored and we feel we appreciate it because the review process is invisible.
Every nomination is a powerful act. It says, you are part of something larger. We see your impact, and we want the world to see it too.
Some of the great names in our science have received this award. You go, really? I have the same award as them? Really? These awards in some way reflect that you're doing something meaningful for the community.
Visit our website to learn how you can nominate yourself or another outstanding individual to be part of this legacy. Let's continue to elevate those who push science and service forward. When we honor excellence, we inspire it.
So AMS has 35 unique awards, and there are a bunch of award winners. So a couple of ground rules. If you are an award winner, you should be sitting in the front right now because you're going to have to rush up to the stage, slow down on the stairs, so that we can flow. Everyone else, silence your phones for the cold weather alerts that will, oh yeah, it's going to freeze tonight. All right, time for the glasses. You've heard amazing, you've heard legacy. This is what the awards are all about. But you are part of the awards process. It's up to you to think about people who you know are deserving of an award who often would be overlooked. So we need all of you to participate. We need you to ruminate. We need you to pontificate, and most importantly, to nominate. And then next year, you might be up here as well. The rules of engagement tonight, as I call your name, you will approach the steps to my left, where the outgoing president is. Past president. Wow, I get to say that about Dave now. I guess that means I'm... All right. A couple other things. I apologize if I mispronounce your name. I apologize. The second thing is the names that you will hear are people's government names. In other words, the name on your license. So you may say, well, who is that? Or, oh, that's her name. And it's almost like when you get that call late night and you have to go bail your cousin out of jail, and you go to jail and you say, my cousin, oh, I don't know his legal name. Not that that ever happened to me. All right, we are jumping right in, and we are starting off with the Early Career and Students Awards. And if I do mispronounce your name, it's okay to yell out and correct me. I'm married, I'm used to things like that. It's not a problem. This year's award for Early Career Professional Achievement goes to Carlos Martinez. And the photographs will be later, so, and then stay on stage until the other folks in your cohort appear. The second award, this one is the Spiros Geodis Award, and that goes to Cameron Pine. There are two separate recipients of the Meisinger Award this year. The first is Timothy W. Cronin. The second is Malti Stuker. The Henry G. Houghton Award is given to Dan Lee. And the Fafanoff Award winner is Jacob O. Winograd. Another round of applause for our early career profession, for what I said earlier. Next category, publishing, education, and reporting. If you're short on acronyms tonight, that's PER. First, our book awards. The Batten Award for a K-12 audience is given to Joan Axelrod Contrada and Ann Malaspina for their work, Zeke the Weather Geek. There's a lizard in my blizzard. Unfortunately, neither Joan nor Ann could be here tonight, so let's congratulate them for their terrific contributions. Okay, in my eagerness, I may have, oh, there it is. Okay, remind me when I get to that part to come back. Okay, mid-career achievement. We have 3 lectureships, and this year's Walter Orr Roberts Lectureship is awarded to Armin Soroshian. Sarushian, I knew that. The Robert Horton Lectureship goes to Amir Agakuchak. And the Bernard Horowitz Memorial Lecturer is Tiffany A. Shaw. Let's congratulate all of our winners. So you got a preview, a tease of the Batten Book Awards for Joan Axelrod Contrada and Ann Malaspina. For Zeke the Weather Geek, there's a lizard in my blizzard. Unfortunately, they are not here tonight, but we congratulate them again. Your hands are going to be tired, so just pace yourself. Our second book award is the Batten Award for an adult audience this year. The award goes to Simon K. Cutfield and Alan J. Reardon for their book, Keep in a Cool Place, The First Winter at Vanda Station, Antarctica. And accepting today on behalf of both is Alan Reardon. There you go. Good man. Oh, you can stay up here. Yeah. Or actually, no, I'm sorry. You are done. You got to go with the flow. So now we are pleased to share the editorial awards. The AMS has a dozen excellent journals, and for each, it takes many excellent reviewers to ensure the quality of the science meets our standards. And among those reviewers, these individuals provided outstanding contributions this year. Now, it's 18 people. So I'm going to call up the first group of 9. They'll stay on the stage, then they will depart, and then the second group of 9. But I'll still call one by one. Starting with Matthew C. Brown. Stephen M. Cavallo. Kurt Jan Duine. Mara A. Freilich. Shoichiro Kido. Fraser King. Maybe we can fit them all on the stage. Scott Landolt. Sharanya Mujumdar. James Marquis. Osamu Miyawaki. Andrew Molthen. Rosimar Rios Barrios. Daniel Rothenberg. Benjamin A. Schenkel. Shubekcha Sharma. Okay, this is like how I packed my bag to come here. I made it all fit. 3 more to go. Ali Toke. Feimen Zhang. And last but not least, Pablo Sorita Gotor. And one big hand for all of our reviewers. Thank you very much. So within this category awards, the next one is teaching and mentorship. The Robert H. and Joanne Simpson Mentorship Award goes to Harold E. Brooks. And not only do we get to hear people's legal names, we get to see them in a different attire that we may be used to seeing. And the Edward N. Lorenz Teaching Excellence Award winner is John Call. Sorry, Harold. One last hand for Harold. Thank you very much. Now we move on to our Media and Journalism Awards. The June Bacon Bursey Award goes to Andrew Humphrey. True to form, Andrew, as a broadcast chief meteorologist in Memphis, is dealing with a little snow and ice, so he couldn't make it. The excellence in science reporting by a broadcast meteorologist is given to Elisa Rafa. Once again, Elisa Rafa. Now we move on to the local chapter awards. Both of these chapters have demonstrated exceptional growth, involvement, and impact, reflecting the values of the society in their communities. The local chapter of the year goes to the Chicago chapter of the AMS. Don't leave yet. Good to see you. And the Student Chapter of the Year Award, get ready to hold your ears. The Student Chapter of the Year Award goes to the Student Chapter at the University of Puerto Rico at Mayagüez. And as they are coming to the stage, all the rest of you in that chapter, feel free to stand. This is our future. All right, thank you very much. All right. Congrats. All right, the next category is operational forecasting and consulting meteorology. In this category, the award for an exceptional specific prediction goes to the NOAA National Weather Service Storm Prediction Center. Weather Prediction Center. But there are storms and weather, right? Okay. I know, I'm so used to saying that. It's a habit. I didn't say hydro. And the Henry T. Harrison Award for Outstanding Contributions by a Certified Consulting Meteorologist goes to Tim Hall, who unfortunately is not with us tonight. So congratulations to NOAA National Weather Service Weather Prediction Center. Thank you. So now we present the Society Service Awards, given for outstanding service to our meteorological community. The recipient of the Charles Franklin Brooks Award for Outstanding Service is Wendy Schreiber Abshire. And the Cleveland Abbey Award for Distinguished Service goes to Renee A. McPherson. Congratulations to you both, and keep on doing it. Non-stop energy, progress, mentorship, all of that stuff. So thank you. So now we get to the Science, Society, and Public Impact Awards, and many of these awards are among our society's highest honors. You are going to get to hear from some of the people in this category, some, not all. To begin with, the Charles E. Anderson Award goes to Bradford S. Barrett. Bradford is not here tonight, so we'll go on to the next person, another one who is not here tonight, winning the Francis W. Riekeldorfer Award, and that is Michael H. Kosh. Also not here tonight, or maybe we'll be surprised, Harinder Ahluwalia, the recipient of the Kenneth C. Spengler Award. That's why you're not hearing from them. Right now, somewhere around the country, people are giving acceptance speeches to their dogs. This year, I'm sorry. Well, the dogs appreciate it. This year's Joanne Simpson Tropical Meteorology Research Award is given to Adam Sobel. The Socorro Manabi Climate Research Award goes to Betty Otto Bliesner. Congratulations. The Helmut E. Landsberg Award is given, I'm sorry, you already have it. We give the award, no, that is, So our council meeting this morning started at 7. Enough said. The Helmut E. Landsberg Award is given to Ellie Boo Zaid. Let's give Ellie a warm round of applause. Thank you. Now, how about the award for Outstanding Achievement in Biometeorology? This one goes to Lawrence Hips. Congratulations. The award for Outstanding Contribution to the Advance of Applied Meteorology is presented to Timothy Loftus. So Tim cannot be here tonight, so we move on to the award for Outstanding Contributions to Boundary Layer Meteorology. This one goes to John Finnegan. And now, the Banner J. Miller Award. This is presented to Gus J. Ulaka, Jr. And, make sure I have this right. Yep, they're all together. But we'll do them one by one. I'm sorry. You can clap. Also goes to Shoumen Chen. Also goes to Andrew Hazelton. As well as Frank D. Marks and Chunxi Zhang. Thank you. We're improvising here. The award for distinguished science journalism in the atmospheric and related sciences, Lois Parsley. Okay, let's make sure we're on track here. All right. Maybe I should put the glasses back on. Now to the Warren Washington Research Medal. This is awarded to William H. Brune.
So several people in this room deserve this award more than I do, but I am honored to accept it. I thank my friend Jose Fuentes and Darren Toohey for nominating me for this award, and for the letter writers who must have had a few good things to say. I thank my wife and best friend who's here, Mary Jane, and my amazing students, postdoc research associates, and engineers who made it possible for atmospheric chemistry and aerosol research to thrive even during the 15 years I was department head. Long time. Let me say a few words about Warren Washington. For some of you, he was a science collaborator or a fellow committee member. For many others, he was mentor. For me, he was a proud Penn State meteorology alum whom I got to know when I was department head. From my time with him and from testimonials from others, here's what I learned from him. Honesty and ethical integrity matter. Warren exemplified these two traits. Diversity matters. Warren served as a source of inspiration and support for diverse scientists. Empathy matters. Warren got to know people and got the best out of everyone, no matter their background. Principled leadership matters. Warren ably led committees and researchers, unifying them to produce results that required compromise of different points of view, but not principles. Facts matter. Warren based his scientific results and leadership actions on solid evidence. Discovery science matters. Warren's curiosity drove his scientific inquiries, not dollar signs. Sadly, tens of millions of Americans and their leader hold values that are the antithesis of Warren Washington's. Rampant lies, extreme racism, hatred of the other, vengeance, violence, and murder, diverse words and actions, distortions of reality, unquenchable greed. This leader and his faction are not just anti-climate science or anti-science, but are worse, they're pro-ignorance. We have work to do. We must engage those who might listen, not by lecturing, but stoking their innate curiosity in climate and atmospheric science, which we know, by appealing to their moral integrity, and by encouraging them to act in their true self-interest. We must get them to think and to vote. I'm sure that's what Warren would want us to do. Thanks again to the selection committee and nominators for this award.
The first thing he said was, I want to thank these people for nominating me. If you don't nominate people. The winner of the Jagadish Shukla Earth System Predictability Prize is Siegfried Schubert. Siegfried is not here today, however, he did send a video.
Greetings from snowy Budapest. I'm sorry I can't be there with you to celebrate the awards, but I would like to make a few comments. First of all, I'd like to say what a great honor it is to receive such a prestigious prize. It was certainly very much unexpected, but also very much appreciated. I'd like to thank the AMS Council for selecting me, but also very much like to thank those of my colleagues that took the initiative to nominate me. I know that took a lot of time and effort. I very much appreciate that. As far as my work is concerned, I think I've been fortunate over the years to have worked with some very talented and dedicated individuals, not only at NASA, but also at NOAA and other research institutes and universities throughout the world. And in that regard, it was actually these larger collaborative efforts, such as those that we organized through US CLIVAR, that I found to be most productive and rewarding. And finally, I think I'd be remiss if I didn't say what a great privilege and joy it has been to work at Goddard Space Flight Center all these years, and particularly in recent years in the Global Modeling and Assimilation Office. And it was actually the modeling and observational tools that were developed in the GMAO that helped us to make some real progress in our understanding of the predictability and the physical processes involved in extreme events. So that's it. Thanks again, and wishing you all a very enjoyable and productive meeting in the coming week.
And now on to the David and Lucille Atlas Remote Sensing Prize. This one is awarded to V. Chandrasekhar.
Wow, it's very humbling, and I'm very honored to get this prize. And of course, I wouldn't be here without the support of the whole community, family, friends, colleagues, collaborators, teachers, and I'm a radar scientist/engineer, so radar industry is a big part of this. So, and the whole radar meteorology community. And plus, my employer, Colorado State University, has been nice to me. Well, I knew Dave Atlas, and he used to challenge me all the time, and I used to argue and get up in, shouting matches in conferences, radar conferences, and so on, especially when the polarimetry was being introduced. There was a lot of non-believers, and it was very interesting. The only thing I remember that he said that I responded to was when we first wrote the book on radar polarimetry. He took the book and said, "Would you write this book for yourself? Write something simpler." But you know how hard it is to write a book. It takes a lot of time. But he's not here anymore, but after 15 years, we did write a simpler book. So, thank you, and thanks.
The Jewel G. Charney Medal is given to Tapio Schneider.
I'm honored to accept the Charney Medal and very grateful to those who nominated me. Thank you very much. Jules Charney pioneered a unity of fundamental research and atmospheric modeling. He was at the Institute for Advanced Study and laid the foundation for what then became the Geophysical Fluid Dynamics Laboratory. GFDL represents this ideal, fundamental research with a direct line to applications. This alignment, personified by people like Suki Manabe, my PhD advisor, Isaac Held, is what attracted me to this field, and it shaped my career. Today, that spirit of collective inquiry and development lives on in the Climate Modeling Alliance. This is a group I lead. This award honors the group I work with every day, enabled by Schmidt Sciences, National Science Foundation, or other sponsors for whom I'm grateful. Just as our field relies on model hierarchies to understand the Earth system, we need a hierarchy of scientific effort to match. While individual investigation remains the bedrock of discovery, we require mid-scale and larger-scale science to enable those discoveries and translate them into applications. We must not only maintain, but tighten the connections across these scales of effort. This is how we equip society to adapt to changes and to mitigate weather and climate risks. Thank you.
The Sverdrup Gold Medal. It is presented to Zheng Yu Lu. All three of them.
That was one of the best pronunciation of my name. Really good. It's really a profound honor to receive the Sverdrup Gold Medal. I remember Sverdrup name was the first name I learned in my graduate class, the first class, physical geography. So it feels so great to be associated with this name. I'm deeply grateful to Mark and Haijun and my references for their kindness and support throughout the nomination process. Looking back on the career in atmospheric and oceanic dynamics that began over, 40 years ago. And I found myself really indebted to many. I like specifically to thank three mentors who have helped build my scientific thinking layer by layer. My PhD advisor, Joe Pilowsky, who taught me not only the mechanism of ocean dynamics, but more importantly, how to think like a scientist. My postdoc mentor, George Philander, who introduced me to view the climate through the lenses of a coupled ocean-atmosphere system. And my colleague, Jan Kutzbach, who really broadened my view of the climate and let me start to think about the climate from the broad Earth system perspective, bridging the past, present, and the future. I would also like to share this honor with many of my students, postdocs, and even some undergraduate students. For their seemingly infinite energy, as well as seemingly naive, yet sometimes deeply stimulating questions that have pushed me looking deeper and deeper. And to many of my wonderful collaborators across the fields of oceanography, meteorology, and paleoclimate, I have learned so much from you guys. Thank you very much. Finally, my deepest thanks to my family, my parents, my wife, Andrea, and my children, Neil, Diana, and Julia. Your love is the ultimate source of my energy. Thank you very much. Thank you.
The Werner E. Sumi Technology Medal. This one goes to Zanqing Li.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here quite late. I'm quite serious, right? Days with many changes. Hope you like. I'm really deeply humbled and honored to receive this prestigious award named after Werner Sumi. Sumi, we all know, is the father of satellite meteorology, and his legacy and contribution has shaped my research career in a big way. To put it in perspective, Sumi satellite help us to know the Earth's albedo is 30%, not we know used to be 46% prior to the satellite era. to put in contact my link with Sumi, my first work as part of my PhD study, the entire Earth's surface receive solar radiation used to be 50 to 51%. I'm probably the first person to bring that down to 46%, which is still the kind of number we use now, so that you can know how my connection with Sumi. And of course, all this work I have done in the past it's 91 I graduated from McGill, long time. Since, I cannot almost figure out how many years. But anyway, during this past several decades, my work career has shifted from radiation budget, cloud, aerosol interaction, land-atmosphere interaction, climate system, public health, environment, etc., all linked by one thing: satellite observation, ground observation, modeling. So that's the way we do science these days, by really merging together all different source information to get the best knowledge about our Earth and how it's functioning. So this is the kind of thing I feel this is very, very useful. And as of now, we all know AI, machine learning, is becoming such a fashion. I have several dozens of papers and students working on AI-related study. So all the days we are using big data from satellite, data from modeling, etc., which we call big data. In our field, it's not strange, but in other field, they call it fashion. But for us, it has been tradition as well. So to put this all together in the context of our Earth science, I think we all rely on each other. We all benefit from the funding support from many agencies, and whose support now is at crisis. We all need to work together to fight to get our piece of taxpayer money to do our research, right? And should not we grateful to all the next generation, because their career is at stake. We really need to help, because they help us to be mature, to be famous, to be established, but their career is at crisis. So as such, I would particularly thank my group, youngsters. Please stand up, and the young students, they are here. And thank you. And because these people will be our future, and I think they help us so much. At last, of course, I should thank for people above me, including my nominators, including Dr. Michael King, Tony Busalacci, Chang Fu, Danny Rosenfeld. They are all famous people in the field. They all receive this award and others. Of course, they helped me to shape my career as well. And last but not least, probably the most important is my family, my wife, Betty Huang, and my daughter, Kelsey. Please stand up. Just thank you for your support. And because they have spent so much, so little time with me because of a long journey in my career. And thank you all. That's all. Thank you.
All right, now we are on to the Hydrologic Sciences Medal. This goes to Martha C. Anderson. Martha is not here this evening, so we, of course, congratulate her and move on to the Carl Gustav Rossby Research Medal, and this goes to Wayne H. Schubert.
Well, thank you to all the AMS officials and volunteers who have put together this awards program. It gives me great pleasure to accept this Rossby Award, really on behalf of a decades-long team of colleagues that I've had at the Department of Atmospheric Science at CSU. Over the decades, this team has consisted of approximately 24 academic and research colleagues and over 30 graduate students working on MS and PhD degrees. When I look back on the reports and the papers that our group has written, I realize the enormous contributions of my colleagues and graduate students in the department. So this award would certainly not be possible without them. On the family side, I have received wonderful support from my entire family. My parents, my sister, my wife Karen, and I's kids, Matt and Jen, their spouses, Jamie and Joe, and our wonderful grandchildren, Garrett and Dylan. And some of my family is sitting right over here, so maybe you could stop by and say hello to them. Although I know it is sometimes not easy to be married to a mentally preoccupied scientist. My wife, Karen, has always approached this in a good-natured way, with perhaps one exception. And that was when I informed her that I was scheduled to go on a NOAA P3 research flight into Hurricane Frederick. In any event, after 50 years of marriage, Karen purchased a kitchen wall hanging that reads, "The first 50 years of marriage are always the hardest." I see this wall hanging every time I sit down for a bowl of cereal in the morning. I would like to close by noting that the last 50 years of atmospheric science research has produced amazing advances, such as geostationary satellites, Doppler radars, GPS radiosones, GPS drop zones, reanalysis data, supercomputers, much more. To our young AMS members in the audience, I think you are on an even greater ride of discovery. I hope you enjoy it and make the most of it. Thank you.
Okay, let me catch my space here. Okay, time for the glasses. It's late. Okay, I'm gonna have to take a deep breath. So here's what we're going to do, because we've got a lot of fellows coming up. Everybody stand up and stretch. You have to have your energy ready to clap for all these fellows, so just take a quick stretch break. Okay, sit down. That was enough. See, I told you. You waited too late. You have to be first. Okay, now we move on to this year's new fellows of the AMS. And we've got a bunch. I'm going to do it in two groups because they all cannot fit on the stage at one time. So this year's new fellows, these are alphabetical by last name. We will start with Emmanuel Anagnastu. Fellow Kristen Avert. Fellow Elizabeth A. Barnes. Fellow Mona Bell. Fellow Susanna J. Camargo. Fellow John C.H. Chang. Fellow Hui Lin Gao. Fellow Sundaraman Gopala Krishnan. Fellow Pierre Emmanuel Kerstetter. Fellow Kimberly E. Cloco McLean. Fellow Paul Kushner. Fellow Todd Lane. Fellow John M. Lenici. You may have to angle a little. And for this group, the last one is Fellow Peter May. Congratulations, fellows, first half. And now for the second half of the fellow alphabet. Fellow Renee A. McPherson. Deja vu. Fellow Arthur J. Miller. Fellow Gerald J. Mulvey. Fellow Hisashi Nakamura. Fellow Stephen M. Quiring. Fellow Jens Redeman. Fellow Ramalingam Suravanan. Fellow Tapio Schneider. Fellow Bruce Telfian. Fellow Darren W. Toohey. Fellow Shu Guan Wang. Fellow Jia Wang. And final fellow in this group, Xiao Cheng Shi. Let's hear it for all the fellows. Okay. You're popular. Look, they're taking pictures. Okay, get out of here.
Good job, Alan.
Thank you. All right. We are near the end of the program, but of course, we have our most special honorary title, which just happens to be honorary member. Now, this is given to the following three people, which we will get to hear from each one by one. First, congratulations go to honorary member Stanley G. Benjamin.
It's a real great honor to get this award. I feel more comfortable about it thinking about the many, many people in this room right now and in AMS that are really part of it with me. Big family hug for all of you right now. Just to start, I've got a few slow thinking ideas here that have come across with me over the years, and I would like to go through those briefly. Things that I had to listen a little bit. I want to start by thanking Penn State and Toby Carlson, my advisor there, for teaching me to think of storms and the things that I love the most, not just being in the troposphere, but being part of an intricate Earth system overall with conveyor belts and elevated mixed layers that were modified by fluxes, what takes place near the soil, in the ground, in the land, and the water. Thanks to Sandy McDonald and Rick Anthes, who got me a joint position after grad school to work with not only with what is now the NOAA Global Systems Lab, but also with NCAR at the same time, and to work together to try to make better forecasting. Thanks to Ron McPherson, who actually, his vision to expand weather model prediction to be beyond what is now NCEP, to work with different laboratories and to invite me to do that along with Tom Schlatter and John Brown and Reiner Bleck to help do that. I was staying close to the banks of the river, so I also want to thank people who got me to be more involved in the international science community with both George Grell and Deja Devigny. I want to thank also some communities, the aviation weather community, the severe weather and energy communities for telling us about their weather challenges. That was an important part. Thanks to John McCarthy and also to Sandy McDonald for starting a joint NCAR-NOAA university development to improve aviation weather forecast. Thanks to United and Delta Airlines back in the late 80s to start to share proprietary weather data with us, and that is a wonderful industry-government relationship that continues. Thank you to the National Weather Service and the forecast offices who talked with us about model development problems over the decades. Thanks to our great colleagues at NCEP, and especially Jeff Manikin, Jeff Tomago, and Louis, to get things going and to get things done. And also with our wonderful colleagues at NCAR and universities, including Roy Rasmussen, Joe Klemp, and Bill Skamrock. I came to see model prediction and data assimilation as needing to go together, as inseparable. And I loved having groups of modelers and data assimilation people together in one room, and we didn't know ahead of time what the problem was we were trying to come up with, but to be able to make hypotheses about that, to sit around in a room with Curtis Alexander and Tanya Smirnova and Steve Wygant and John Brown and Eric James, and George Grell would sit over there on the side pointing his fingers as a model developer at the data assimilation people. It's your fault. But we would all laugh together and we would actually get along, and it just reminds me of the way how important it was to hire not just smart people, but people who would listen to each other and work well in a group. I want to thank my wife, Sally, our three wonderful adult children, John, Chris, and Emma, and six grandkids, Charlotte, Ben, Sam and Jonah, Robin and Theo. We all marvel at clouds together. I love being able to do that. By my tradition, I thank God that that's the case. And also, I'm so thankful for all of you to be able to work with you, and the fact that we have in AMS and in our community, we have this successful effort to use science to be able to help other people, and I love being part of that. Thank you very much.
Second honorary member, congratulations to Frederick Carr.
Thank you. It is a great, tremendous honor to be standing here. Well, first and foremost, I want to thank my wife, Meg, without whose love and support, I would not be standing here today, as well as my son, Brett, and his wonderful and growing family. I would like to thank the AMS for this esteemed and humbling honor, and to those who initiated and supported my nomination. I actually have no idea who you are, but here I am. The AMS has just been a wonderful companion to my career, spanning nearly 60 years since I first joined in 1967. And serving the AMS contributed greatly to my own professional development, an immense benefit to me that really surpasses any value that I may have brought to the AMS over the years. So having a professional society actually as a mentor is worthwhile. It's worthwhile just like having great personal mentors. And I have had some wonderful ones: Tian Krishnamurti, Lance Bossart, Jeff Kimple, John Snow, and many, many others. I want to express appreciation to them and many other professional colleagues at OU and elsewhere, both in and outside of meteorology. They inspired me to become a diligent researcher, caring teacher, and mentor in my own life to thousands of classroom students, hundreds of graduate students, and to my 400 freshman mentees. I hope some of you are out there. It is so rewarding to see them do well. Finally, to sort of amplify some point that Dave made earlier and Bill, I recall that 9 years ago, as AMS president, providing the welcome, as Dave did, to the Presidential Forum at the 2017 AMS meeting in Seattle, 2 days after the current president began his first term. We were worried then about its effect on science, and we are even more worried now. The AMS has been a source of strong support for our weather, water, and climate enterprise, but we all need to do our own part as individuals. I asked each of you then to help stand up for science. And I again ask that we continue to stand up for science. Together, working together, we can ensure that we have the will and the resources to advance knowledge and the application of our disciplines for the great benefit of society. Thank you very much.
I'll add, stand up for what's right. We all know. And last but not least, we don't want to overshadow honorary member Claire L. Parkinson. Unfortunately, Claire is not here with us tonight, but she did send a video.
I tremendously appreciate the honor of being selected as an honorary member of the AMS, and I sincerely thank the AMS, my nominator Ping Yang, the supporters of the nomination, and the awards committee. I particularly thank the AMS for recognizing me despite my research being focused on the glaciological portion of the climate system rather than on meteorology. AMS has consistently been wonderful in welcoming non-meteorologists. This has been a challenging past 12 months for many individuals and institutions involved in scientific research. And I want to take this opportunity to acknowledge and thank 3 institutions that gave me the chances that allowed me to have the career that I had. First, I thank the National Science Foundation for funding my dissertation research way back in the 1970s, and Warren Washington and the National Center for Atmospheric Research for hosting me for 2 years and allowing me to use the mainframe NCAR computer to carry out that research. Most especially, I thank NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center for employing me for 44.5 years and for giving me the incredible opportunity of doing scientific research as a NASA scientist using satellite data starting well before such data became ubiquitous. I also thank my scientific colleagues, the support staff that helped us along the way, the engineers who built, launched, and operated the satellites and satellite instruments, the programmers and data center personnel, and everyone else involved in the effort of collecting and handling the satellite data. While extremely concerned about how the challenges now facing NSF, NCAR, NASA Goddard, colleges and universities, and many other organizations might limit the opportunities available to today's young scientists, at the same time, I see reason for optimism in the many young people anxious to contribute to science and society, and in the outpouring of help being given by AMS and other organizations. As long as these young people get the opportunity to contribute, I foresee that with the amazing tools available to them now, they will achieve remarkable advances that will far outshine anything that those in my generation were able to contribute. In conclusion, I thank the AMS for the honor bestowed on me today, and even more so for the welcoming help AMS provides to young scientists anxious to contribute, and to scientists at every career stage involved in the vitally important field of earth sciences. Thank you.
So thank you, everybody, for attending this evening. Now, when we gather together to elevate the achievements of our outstanding members, we affirm that we as a society and how we celebrate how far these celebrate how far these extraordinary efforts have brought us. So may we leave tonight inspired in our own paths, inspired to look for the great contributions of those around us and the students who are coming up behind us, and remember what an awesome community we are all a part of. I'd like to remind you once again, it starts with you. If you don't nominate, a lot of people will be kind of hidden in the future, but we need to shine the light on those who need the light shine on them, or is it shown? Either way, I've been on my feet for 11 hours, and I'm beginning to feel emotion. Mr. Secretary, are you feeling emotion?
I do. And if we don't get this right, everything we did the last year gets undone. So please vote affirmatively. I move that the acts of the counselors and officers of the Society during the year ended 31 December 2025, done in the proper conduct of the business of the Society, be hereby adopted, approved, and confirmed.
I hear a second. I hear a third. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? You can stay here while we go out.
The motion passes.
Have a great evening and a great conference.